Hello, welcome to Solo Playthroughs. I am excited today to get a game of Gaia Project onto the channel. So that is what the mess of stuff in front of me is. It is all of the components necessary for a solo game of Gaia Project. Now, if you watch my top 10 video, Gaia Project for me is a game that I owned for a long time. Took me a long time to get it to the table, more than once, and I appreciated it, was intrigued by it, but it wasn't really until I started playing it solo that it became a top game for me and definitely a go-to for my playing. It's something I'm hoping to get to the table more competitively with my friends once we start having games nights again. But for now, happy to explore all that this game has to offer in the solo capacity. 14 different factions, all of them play very different, and there are 7 different Automas that you're up against. The Automas play very differently as well. I mean, obviously, not as differently as they would had this, been a full game with people. But the Automa system in this game is actually quite impressive in what it does to create that feel like you are playing against an actual opponent in a sense. Every game feels very different. I randomize my board, I randomize my player, I randomize my opponent, and that always brings some kind of newness. There are recommended balanced setups. I enjoy seeing how different boards come together and seeing some of the challenges that each board presents. Sometimes randomizing can make things very easy, sometimes it can make things impossible, but for the most part I found that this game and the way these tiles are designed and the way the factions interplay with the different possibilities is usually something you can do to have a fairly good and cooperative game, and there's usually something the Automa can do as well to give you a run for your money. So I have not played much Terra Mystica in my gaming life. I have played one game, so for me Gaia is my real intro to this world. Obviously, for those who don't know, Gaia Project is a very, very strong re-implementation of the Terra Mystica play system. It takes what Terra Mystica did, and then it adds this tech track. So these used to just be point grabs in Terra Mystica, or are just point grabs in Terra Mystica for the most part. Now every single one of these tracks has significance, and there's different strategies and things that you can do by going up these tracks to help you in your engine building and help you in scoring points. And I think I've babbled enough. Let's get to setup. So I just have a center tile here. This game is a space hog. I have not had this much difficulty in getting everything onto my table in a way that it can all be seen on the camera at once yet, and that is not what I expected when I tried to start setting it up. Even though I played this so many times, I should have realized just how big this was. But in my mind, if this table can fit Maid's Night and I can get it all on camera easily, why am I having so much trouble with Gaia? But there's really 2 boards, and then you have your player board, and then you're going to have all of the planets. So really 4 boards when you really think about it, plus you're going to need space for all the Automa components. So let me pick my faction. I am going to be the Nevlas. Never say never. I'm sure I'm going to butcher some of these names, but that's just how it goes. Wait, the Nevlas are Nevlas, not Nevas, Nevlas. Yeah, there's an L in there. Sorry. Nevlas. Alright, that's a cool hairdo. I might try to pull that off. So now that I am going to be one of the white factions, I need to spin this again. And I'm going to be up against the blues. Now I'm actually, I spotted I landed on Lantids, but I'm going to be the Terrans. So we're just going to stick with the blue because there is no Automa faction card for the Lantids. Take the other Automa faction cards out. I'm going to take these out. Get my little handy dandy Automa cheat sheet handy, or within reach I should say. And then we're going to place, this is a terraforming chart. I'll have it with the blue at the most visible location. Put the Terrans card there. We have our Automa deck, and now we need to go to the app I use, not app, the website I use for setup. And it took me a while before I found what worked for me, and I think I found this like off Board Game Geek, and it's pretty great. It's just a Gaia Project randomizer. So I have it set up for a 2-player game. I'm going to shuffle. I take off the recommended setup stuff. And when I shuffle, we are going to get the following board. And the nice thing about it, it randomizes everything. It randomizes the round scoring tiles. It randomizes the end game scoring tiles. Everything gets tilted a little bit in a 2-player game. So I'm going to tilt my phone. Make sure that's centered because, again, I have not much space to work with here. So that's going to go there. Looking for tile number 5 or 3. We got 3. That's going to go there. So one of the interesting things about this game, as far as other, when I compare it to other engine builders, I played a ton before I really felt like I had a clue of how to really win this game beyond just dumb luck by, sometimes the Automa doesn't score as well as he does other times. But normally the Automa is going to get up over 100 points by a decent margin. So, somewhere between like 120 and 140. So how to beat that was always a challenge. And I think for me, using, my experience with engine builders, that's not why my favorite kind of game, like worker placement, engine builder, they're fun. But obviously you see that the games I really like are a little different. But at least don't have those as like the main focus at the forefront. But I was basically going for engine building and realized that a lot of this game rewards point grab and finding ways to, it's almost like you start with, all right, how do I get points in this game because the scoring conditions are always changing, and then do what you need to do to build an engine that's going to allow you to build those points. And that changes the timing of when you do things. It changes just what kind of planet you're going on and a bunch of things like that. And we'll kind of talk about that as we go and kind of see what the scoring goals are in this game. Now we're starting with the first round is going to give you 4 points for every trading station you put on the board. The second round is going to give you 4 points for every academy or planetary institute you put on the board. You only have 2 academies and 1 planetary institute. That's going to be tough to get one of those on the board round 2. I mean, not tough. It might not be strategically wise to, but we'll get to there when we'll talk about that when we get there. The third round again is 3 points for every trading station. The fourth round is 4 points for every Gaia planet you colonize with a mine. The fifth round is going to be the planetary, the academy and the planetary institute reward again, and then the sixth round is going to be 2 points for every step you move up on a knowledge track and the tech track. So that's a decent array of scoring tiles, and then we have our end game scoring bonuses. It's going to be most structures in a federation is going to get you 18 points, and then most satellites on the board will get you 18 points. Second most will get you 12, third most will get you 6. How is there third most in a game with just you and the Automa? Well, there is going to be a third dummy player which does nothing but just is going to be marked on the 8 to help with endgame scoring. Now, I usually use white tokens as my third player dummy player, but since I'm playing as white, I'm going to actually have to take those off the board. Well, I'll put my zeros there for my own endgame scoring, and I will take my little scoring things. Put that up. So I start with 1 in the AI track, and I'm sorry, 1 in the knowledge track. So I played all the factions at least once. And Nevlas, I think I've played twice, so I have to brush up on their rules a little bit. And then we're going to need to get all the blues for the Terrans. Don't need these. Now when you're setting up the Automa, you don't need their Gaia formers. And obviously you don't need their track markers. So you just need all of their planets. I mean, all of their structures and all of their satellites. Now what I do is I put a satellite on each end round scoring. I use a lot of reminders in this game because there's a lot of little finicky rules things as far as the scoring goes, a little finicky scoring things, so just making sure that you don't forget any of those, obviously, because this game is best score wins, so if you're messing up the scoring, you're not really playing the game. Alright, so I put those there. I'm going to put 1 here, just that's to remind me. This track's actually really helpful. I forget, I think it was John Gets Games mentioned this, that this is the terraforming steps. I use this almost more than the terraforming step card to remind me of how far it is. Now the Automa card does add a little nuance in that the Gaia planet is one terraforming step, and the Transdim planets, which are the purple planets, they are two terraforming steps. Those are not reflected in that circle there, but I find the circle really, really helpful, and it's pretty easy to remember just those two extra planets. So I'm going to put the Terrans markers on the endgame scoring tile track. Now, when it comes to Federation, the Terrans, the Automa doesn't really form federations. Again, not like a real player. So to basically approximate that, what you're going to do is take the total number of structures they build and subtract 1, and that is going to be their total for scoring for that endgame scoring purpose. All right. The Automa starts on level 1 in the Gaia forming track, and they're going to get, I'm sorry, level 2 in the Gaia forming track, and they're going to be level 1 in the Gaia forming track. They're level 0 everywhere else, and we're going to have them down here. Great. So they're set. Now let's do the rest of the randomizing. So the round boosters, there are 10 round boosters in the game. We only use 5 in any one game. So the first one's going to be a terraforming step and 2 credit. The second one's going to be 2 credit and a QIC. And I'm going to jostle the board for the first time. Let's start keeping track at home how many times I do this. And we're going to get the range 3 and the cycle 2 power. We're going to get the 1 ore and 1 knowledge, and we're going to get the 4 points when you pass for every planetary institute and academy you have on the board, and the cycle 4 power. So I'm going to put these 5 over here. All right, great. That should work. And now the final things we're going to put, there's always a randomized, this is a Federation token, always a randomized one that goes at the top of the terraforming track. So that will go there. And then we're going to have, these are the advanced tech tiles. There's going to be, here is 2 points per mine you have in the galaxy when you take that tile. The other ones that are here, this is going to be 2 points for every sector you're in when you take that tile, 4 points for every trading station you have on the board when you take that tile, 2 points, I already have that one, it's going to be 1 point for every type of planet you have colonized every time you pass, 3 points for every research lab you have on the board every time you pass, and this is going to be 3 points for every trading station that you put on in the galaxy after you have ownership of that tile. So you see the 3 different varieties of scoring. The one is going to be, count the number of whatever you have at the time you take that tile, that whatever is relevant, and then you can score then. There's going to be the one that it's a continuing bonus every time you continue to build that kind of thing. And then there's a third one is that you get it, and then every time you pass, you get scored for how many of those you still have on the board. These are the regular tech tiles. Now normally in a multiplayer game, these will be in stacks relative to how many players are in, but since each faction can only have one of a tech tile, any one type of tech tile, in a solo game I just keep just the one of each, and it's actually they're slightly different on the back to let you know if you just want to look one of each how to grab those pretty quick. So that's going to go there. So right now this is cycle 4 power. That would be an action you can use once a turn. This allows your planetary institutes and your academies to count as 4 power instead of 3 for the purposes of forming a federation. This is just 7 points. And this is going to be 1 knowledge for each type of planet you have colonized. This is the 1 ore and 1 QIC, which we will talk about as we go. This is the get 4 credit in every income phase. This is get 1 knowledge and 1 credit in every income phase. And this is get 1 ore and cycle 1 power in every income phase. So the hand always indicates income. So you can see there's a ton of going on in this game, more so than in most of the games, at least as far as the setup and the rules and what you need to learn when you come in. I mean, you know, Mage Knight, Arkham, you can kind of get going. You might not be very good for a long time, but you can get going. Gaia really understanding the technology and the verbiage, and I mean, it's not the technology in the game, and the verbiage in the vernacular is going to be much more important than in some games. So everything is set except I need my components. White, and then I'm going to get the red components to be the proxy for the dummy players. So we have 8, 8, and I'm going to get all of their little marker tokens, and you'll see why. There's like these little cylinder tokens that you're going to want them as you determine where the dummy player, where the Automa player, I should say, not the dummy player, where the Automa player places their stuff as the game progresses. Alright, so we're going to put those 7 up there. Cool. Now all I need is to set up my board. So Nevlas, how does Nevlas work? What makes them interesting? So Nevlas can move they're a very, very, very tech track focused faction. So what they do that's unique, for those that don't know this game, you have this power cycle. And in your power cycle, you'll have a certain amount of power. So let me put that in there. So I'm going to get 2 power in bin 1 or power area 1, and then I'm going to put 4 in power area 2. Now that's actually printed on the board for setup, so it makes it easy. And normally what happens as you power your power cycle, you have to power from 1 to 2, and then when there's nothing left in 1, you can power from 2 to 3. And there's different ways you can power, and we'll talk about that. What Nevlas can do is he can take power. So normally when there's stuff in power 3, you can use it for all different kinds of actions. These are all different. If you cycle 7 power out of power 3, you get 3 knowledge. If you cycle 5 out of power 3, you get the terraform 2 steps, etc., etc., etc. Nevlas can say, well, normally I need to cycle 4 power to get 1 knowledge. Whenever Nevlas has anything in power area 3, he can put it right into the Gaia forming area and get 1 knowledge. And then that would come back into his power cycle in the Gaia phase in the next round. And again, we'll kind of get to all of that. So the yellows, you start with 1 yellow on 15, 1 on 0 when you play as Nevlas. And that means that I have 15 credits. The yellows are credits. I'm going to get, the blue means knowledge. I start with 2 knowledge. It costs 4 knowledge to move up on a track. I have 3 Gaia formers in my little pool of other components here. So you don't start the game with a Gaia former unless you are Terrans, but you have to move up the Gaia forming track to get one. And then this white square is the ore square. So generally speaking, you will be spending a lot of ore and credits to build these buildings of all types. So we already talked about Nevlas's base. So there's usually 2 things that makes every faction unique. And then there's sometimes the board will be augmented. I mean, often the board will be augmented to kind of enhance those, whatever makes it unique as far as the faction's powers. The faction race, I don't know what the proper terminology is for someone who's a big Gaia player, if I should be saying race instead of faction. I always feel weird saying race when I'm talking about board games. But the one thing that makes unique is, again, is the power that's going to be determined here, right? And we already said that. So the powers are determined here. One, I can spend a power from the 3rd area of my power cycle and put it into my Gaia area, and that can give me a knowledge. The second thing that makes me unique is I start on level 2 of the knowledge track, so I'm going to get income. I'm going to get 1 income, 1 knowledge income every round just from that track, in addition to whatever else is on my board or whatever else I might have as far as a round booster. And then I'm also going to start with 1 QIC. Now, most of the factions start with 1 QIC, so that's not that unique. But when I can build my Planetary Institute, I'm also going to get another ability unlocked, and that is I'll be able to spend 1 1 power from my 3rd area, and it will count as if I was spending 2 for most purposes, right? So so if I'm ever like cycling power, if I was going to put that 1 from 3 and put it into the Gaia area, I'd get 2 knowledge. And so it really just kind of reduces the cost of a lot of these actions in some pretty significant ways. So it's a cool little power to have. Now, I have found one of the big mistakes I was making in this game in a lot of my early solo playthroughs is I was chasing my planetary institutes very, very early, and I found that was a strategic mistake. It was actually hindering my progress in the game. So we are going to put the Terrans' two initial placements. Their two initial placements are going to be the two blue planets. That is their home terrain, obviously. That is going to be two blue planets that are closest to the very center of the galaxy that we have here. So this one's obvious, and that's not mine. That's a trading station. So that's right next to it. The rest are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So this mine will go here. Now, I can place two planets. I'm going to place them, two mines. I'm going to place them. Where am I going to place you? So there is some benefit in being a little bit close, because it really reduces, mostly for the phase, it reduces the cost of building your trading stations. And you'll see that. So, and since trading station is going to be worth 4 points in the first round, I think I should try to do that. Yes. So we are going to go here, and we are going to go. Alright, so my first terraforming steps are going to be blue and gray. So that's actually a really nice placement for me. And after that, it's going to be brown and red. So I don't really love my options for the second placement. Does get me in the territory of some Gaia planets. Gaia planets are worth 4 in phase 2, or in round 4, I should say. So that's like kind of the second half of the game. The game kind of flips a little bit for scoring purposes in the second half of the game. So I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put this. I don't think I'm gonna have that many QICs to be able to take advantage of those Gaia planets, and Terrans is gonna be on a rampage, sucking up all those Gaia planets and Transdim planets really quick. So I think this makes the most sense for some strategic reasons. So that is my setup. We have a couple of things left, and then we can get started with some gameplay. So Terrans is again going to start with a 1 on the Federation track because they have 2 structures on the board, and since endgame scoring is Federation, it's going to be number of total structures they have minus 1, and that is their score for that. Since I have no buildings in a Federation, no structures in a Federation, I start at 0, and I have no satellites. He has no satellites, so 0, 0. And we are going to flip over the top card of the deck I just shuffled, and that's going to show what the initial round booster is that they're going to take. Terrans is going to take the 2 credit in income and a QIC in income. Now, they don't actually get that income, but it just means that's their round booster, which basically just messes with me, because that's probably the one I was leaning toward. Although that terraforming one's actually pretty good too, so I'll be okay and make do with that. So what you're going to do is now to set the Automa deck. There's 17 cards in this deck, and it's amazing how different this game can feel with the same 17 cards over and over and over again. It just plays so different every time you play. So we're going to take 6 cards, and we're going to look at the 6 cards that all have this little mark at the bottom. It's that green box. That's how you know you have the right 6 cards. Then we're going to take 1 more off the top. These are thoroughly shuffled, so that's 1 there. And we'll put the rest of the Automa deck there. So we have these 7 cards, and what we're going to do is we're going to put the bottom 3 of them sideways. And that's going to indicate that at the end of the round, that when we pull one of those cards, it might be the end of the Automa's turn, and they might pass. So the Automa in the first round is going to have somewhere between 3 to 6 turns. In the second round, we're going to add a card, so they'll have between 3 to 5 turns. In the second round, they're going to have between 4 and 6 turns. The third round is 5 to 7, etc., etc., etc. So they're going to get at least 1 more turn to their minimum, or exactly 1 more turn to their minimum number of turns every round. but they could always have 1 or 2 turns more than their minimum, depending on what icons come up in the cards that you pull, and we will kind of go through that as it happens. Now the player, when playing against the Automa, the player gets the first turn, and I still have not, oh, I have placed my mine, so we're good. So I need to do income phase, right? So before we do a turn, I'm going to look at my income. Now there's 5 kinds of income you can get. One, you can get QICs. Oh wait, I got to take my round booster. I am going to take the terraforming step because I think that's the most helpful, and I have an obvious place to use it, and it will give me a chance to potentially get another trading station on the board, which will give me some 4 points. Again, I'm already chasing points. It's not, points are something I don't normally consider in a one-player game, in an engine builder, anything like that this early, because it's like, all right, build the engine, then worry about points. In this game, it's like, no, you chase your points. You get points, and they're low-hanging fruit, you get them. So it's cool and different how that works out. So I'm going to take the terraforming step and the 2 credit income. So there's 5 kinds of income. So one would be QICs. I'm not getting a QIC as part of income. Second would be any income that has to do with power, either adding more power to your cycle or cycling some power. I have no income that I'm cycling there. Third is going to be knowledge. I'm going to get 1 knowledge. So that gets me up to 3 knowledge. Fourth, I'm going to get ore. I get 3 ore because there's 3 symbols with a hand and a 1 ore square, and I'm going to get 2 credits because my round booster has 2 income of credits on it. So my credits are going to be the total of the 15 plus the second numbers on a 2. So the 15 plus a 2 is I have 17 credits at my disposal. So the first thing I want to do is let me use my little terraforming step that I got in my round booster. So terraforming, normally terraforming costs whatever it is on your terraforming chart. So if you're a terraforming step when you start at level 0 is going to be 3 ore per terraforming step. That's a lot of ore. As you move up this chart, if you decide to move up this track, you can reduce the cost of how much it is to terraforming. Here it would only be 2 per step, here's 1 per step. And there are sometimes the scoring booster will actually be about terraforming. Now, terraforming is not the focus of the scoring in this game at all. Number of different types of planets you're on isn't a concern. There's really no major incentive from a point standpoint to try to move up this track. So I'm probably going to stay right there. So instead, I want to take advantage of free terraforming whenever I can. And here we are. So I'm going to cover that, and that's going to give me a free terraforming step. Now, where can I terraform and what can I put a new mine on? Because I'm trying to colonize. I'm doing the build a mine action through that terraforming step. Well, my range is for the navigation track is only 1. So it's 1 to start. So since I'm only can do 1, I can only terraform adjacent spots. There's only 2 planets that I am adjacent to. This is the yellow. Now the yellow is 1, 2, 3 away as far as terraforming steps. So I would actually need to spend 9 ore or any combination of free terraforming steps and ore. So if I was using this 1 terraforming step here, I could spend another 6 ore to terraform that yellow. That would be an egregiously bad use of resources, because that'd basically be all I could do this round, and I obviously want to do at least some more things. So I'm just going to do the gray, which is right next to me, so it is 1 away from my home planet, which allows me to basically use the terraforming step, not have to worry about paying for any more terraforming. I'm going to spend the 1 ore as per my faction mat here, and the 2 credits, so I'm down to 15 credits, and I'm going to place a mine on this gray planet. That is not the round scoring for this round, so I don't get any points for that. But now that is in the galaxy, and that would be the end of my turn. It's 1 action, my turn is over. So we're going to go to the Automa's first turn. The Automa, the first card they pull over every round, is never done. That action on there is never done. But we're going to use this little track here as a support to the next action card. These cards fit together, and we're going to do this action. You'll see here it says to move up on one of the tech tracks. Now, which track do you move up on? Well, the support says there's an arrow there with the number 2. So we're going to move, it looked like a 3, but that is for sure a 2. And we're going to do the numbered selection 2 to move up in the tech track. All of these are valid options, so we're going to start all the way at the left. 1, 2, the Terrans are going to move up on the navigation tech track, and then we're going to give the Automa the number of points as per the card. They get 0 points. That's a nice card for them to have every round. Cards that get them 0 points are very nice. Look, the Automa will always jump out to somewhat of a lead. The question is, how can you keep it close? And can you overtake them in the later rounds? They steadily get points throughout the game, right? You tend to get your points in bursts, and hopefully you'll be in a place where you can see what's going and plan your game accordingly to get those points at every opportunity you can. So my turn. I am going to upgrade one of my mines to a trading station. Now, if you look on your board, there are 2 costs for trading stations. You can either spend 3 credits and 2 war, or 6 credits and 2 war. And the difference is, are you in the neighborhood of an opponent? So again, the game tries to encourage people getting in each other's way by this financial incentive, in that because I'm within 2 of this blue mine, I actually am considered in the neighborhood, so I can actually upgrade that for the reduced cost of only 3 credits. There's always 2 war regardless. So I'm going to spend the 2 war, I'm going to spend 3 credits, and I'm going to put this trading station on the board there. Now, if the Automa was a real player, he would be able to power off of that. He's obviously not, so I don't have to worry about that. But since I placed a trading station, and since the trading station is the round bonus, I'm going to get 4 points for placing that on the board. And I get the jump out to a lead, which is awesome. So we'll see how long that lasts. The Automa is going to go. The Automa is going to. The previous support card is now discarded, so I'm just going to keep that sideways. The previous action card is now the new support card, and now the new action card is a power or QIC action. And so that means we're going to look at these actions at the bottom of the board. These 7 are powered by power, and these 3 are powered by QICs. And usually having that many excess QICs doesn't happen until later in a game, at least for me. So we're doing a QIC action, and what that's going to do is just try to get in our way. So the Automa is not really adding anything to the board, it's just going to try to get in our way in case we had any inclinations to be using this track during this round. Numbered selection is 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That is covered. The Automa gets 1 point. They're off to the races. All right, that is their turn. My turn. I'm going to, I really don't want to spend 6 QIC to get another trading station, but I really might. I definitely don't want to put my Planetary Institute on the board. I think that would be a mistake. I was hoping that they would do an upgrade, because if they did an upgrade, I would actually power some, but then I'd still be short. Yeah, I was hoping they did a build and an upgrade their first 2 actions, because then I could, again, spend a power from the 3rd track and get myself moving along in the knowledge track, and actually move up a track this round, which I'm a little worried might not be happening. All right. So one of the things to always look at in this game, and the thing that's really helped me come along and start winning this game with any sort of regularity, is knowing the conversions here. In that not only can you convert power into things, so you can convert 4 power into QIC, 3 power into an ore, 4 power into a knowledge, 1 power into a credit, but you can also do other conversions as well. So you can convert an ore into a new power. It's not something I often do. You can convert an ore into a credit, a knowledge into a credit, and a QIC into an ore. Now notice, if you're converting one resource into another, generally the resource that you're converting into another, the one you're giving up tends to be generally more valuable as far as the game is constructed. However, there are exceptions to every rule, right? And there are times that you need the less valuable resource to do whatever it is that you are trying to do. All right, I think it's a little bit strange, but looking at what's on the board, I think it makes the most sense for me. So I'm going to spend the 3 ore, and I'm going to spend 5 credit to upgrade the trading station I just upgraded into, and that's always 3 and 5. It doesn't matter where you are, no neighborhood concerns, etc., etc. I'm going to take the trading station I just built and I'm going to build it into a research lab. Now, the real reason I did that is that it gives me access to a tech tile, and I want to really run up that knowledge track. I'm going to do what it is that my faction does, and that's knowledge. So great, I'm going to try to go with the knowledge track, and then I definitely want to get the economic track, and hopefully by the 3rd or 4th round I have a really nice thing going with both of those tracks that will really help me expand out. The 3rd track I usually will go up and look at is going to be the AI track. If you can really stock up on QICs in late game, it's really helpful. So I'm going to take that tech token. Whenever you take a technology upgrade, you move up on the corresponding track. If you take from the bottom 3, and again, these are all randomly put out every game. So if you take from the bottom 3, you can choose whatever you want to upgrade. And if you take an advanced tech tile, which I'll explain later, hopefully, maybe, sort of, then you could also take from, you can move up any track you want. So I moved up into this track, which is great. And this is a one-time bonus. It's going to give me 1 ore and 1 QIC. And you can tell it's a one-time bonus when it has a white line around it and then a star. So I'm going to get 1 ore back to go back to 2, and I'm going to get myself a second QIC. Rock on. Alright, so it's going to be the Automa's turn. The Automa is going to, again, that support card, support card goes into this card pile, the action card becomes a support pile card, and now they are going to be doing a QIC action. QIC action. It is going to be three things for the Terrans. First, they are going to move up on the Gaia forming tech track. Second, they are going to place a mine range 4. The tiebreaker A, so that is the most important thing they're looking for, is a Transdim planet. So we are going to take our little markers and find all Transdim planets within range 4 of the Automa. So there's a few of them. That's range 4. This is range 4. That's range 4. The tiebreaker after that is going to be closest to me. So closest to me is this one right here, which is exactly what I was hoping for, because I want them to be closer to me so I can build another research station in this round. So they're going to go there. Now, whenever they put a mine down on a transit planet, you need to make it a Gaia planet as well. You can't colonize Transdim. You have to convert it into Gaia. And the last thing that's part of the Automa's action is going to be 2 points for the Terrans. All right. Now they placed that planet there, that mine there, that I am within range 2, so I can power off of that. And they're also going to get a satellite. So when they look at endgame scoring, they're now 1 on the satellite track, and they are 2 on the Federation track. The number of their structures -1. My turn. I am going to take advantage of having a new neighbor. I'm going to spend 2 ore and 1, 2, 3 credit and turn that mine into a trading station, and that's going to give me 4 points because of the round scoring tile, and that gets me up to 18, which is a very nice start for me. All right, we are going to what if I should try to claim a Gaia planet? No. All right, let me think about my next turn. So they're going to go. Now, we are now in the horizontal cards. So, you'll see at the top of all these cards, there is either going to be a circle with a green light, or there's going to be that same circle with a red X. So, if it's a red X, their turn's over. If it's a green light, they get an extra turn. So, you're obviously hoping for red X's, because every turn that the Automa has is more that they could score, and you want them to not score. But, of course, they get a green light. So they're placing a mine range 2. Now, we're not doing the Automa action. We're just doing a regular build action. So you have to go through the normal steps without worrying about the advanced tiebreaker steps that are only for the Automa action. So the normal tiebreaker now, so we're looking at range 2. There might be an end game tiebreaker. So if there was like, the end game scoring tiles aren't going to matter for us, but you would look here. If it was like different planet types or different sectors, there might be something else you have to consider, but for this game, we're not going to have to worry about that. So we are going to have to worry about first and foremost is number of terraforming steps. So if there are any blue planets within range 2, that's 0 terraforming steps, so that would obviously be the place to go. There are no blue planets within range 2. This is range 3. This is range 5, so we can ignore those. The planet types after that, we're going to go up to our handy dandy chart. So we're going to look at either white planets or red planets or Gaia planets within range 2. And I want to put this here because I already did a Gaia planet. So we are looking at white, red, or Gaia. So there is that within range 2. That's out of range. That's in range 2. That's range 2. So I think that is it. And because that is it, that's not great. So they are going to, then the tiebreaker after that's going to be closest to me. And that's going to be that one. And that was a planet I was thinking about grabbing this round because I don't want to get boxed in too much over there. But I think that might be a little bit too late to be worrying about that, to be honest. Shoot. All right, I'll find a way to make something over there, but it might take a little bit. But they placed the mine. I could, because I am in range 2, I could spend, so that is a power value of 2, so I could power 2 power, but to do that you always have to spend 1 point less than the number that you're powering. So before I powered 1 because I had a mine here, and the power value of a mine is 1, so I was able to spend 1 less in points. So I had to spend 0 points to power 1. Here I have to spend 1 point to power 2, and I don't want to do that. Don't think there's really any upside in doing that, so I'm just going to let that. Never mind. I take that back. I will spend the 1 point to power 2. So this goes from bucket 1 to bucket 2. I have 1 remainder, so I'm going to go 1 from bucket 2 to bucket 3. And then the finishing up the Automa's turn, he's going to get a point. So he's at 14. All right, my turn. I am going to cycle, use Nevlas' special power to cycle. That's the only reason I spent that point, because I want to be able to do this, to cycle from 3 into the Gaia area to give me 1 knowledge. And that's just like a free action. So that wasn't like something it wasn't like a power action. It wasn't anything that like cost me my turn. It's just these free passive abilities that I can do before or after my turn while it's my turn, right? Before I pass, unless I pass, then I can't do it anymore. So I'm going to do that action, and now I'm going to spend the 4 knowledge to move up on a track before we advance this sucker. And I will, I'm debating between the economic track or the knowledge track. The knowledge track might actually make some more sense here. Sure, so I'm going to move up on the knowledge track, which is going to let me cycle 3. Yeah, that's great. So now at the end of the game, you get 4 points for every level that you are on these tracks. So if you're on level 3, 4, and 5, that's 12 points for anything. So, you know, there's advantages to moving up only a few tracks instead of just kind of staying on here in all the tracks, right? So if I can jump up that knowledge track, kind of max out that income. I don't want to necessarily go to the top very quick because that's like a one-time bonus and you lose the income. So I'll probably want to hover there or there and then start moving up other tracks. So maybe at the end of the game, I can jump into the top, get that 9 knowledge, and kind of swing for the fences. Especially in the end round, I'm going to get 2 points for everything I move up. So looking ahead at that and saying, you know what, I'll get that 9 knowledge that last round, because then I can just start getting 2 points 3, 4, 5 times based on the number of knowledge I'll be able to accumulate in that final round, and the other ways that I get to move up tracks. Again, taking tech tiles, spending QIC for actions. There's a lot of things that can happen in that last round. So again, moved up on that track thanks to having that knowledge from Nevlas' special ability, and moving over the track that does, I spent the 4 knowledge to do that, does constitute a full turn. So the Automa, again, could be their final turn. Nope, they have another action with a green circle. They are going to, this is different than the other action that we showed earlier. This one is moving up. So the last one just had a picture basically just of you know, one thing moving up one. This means go up on the highest one. So we're going to look at the tech tree. They only have one that's on level 2, so that is obviously their highest. They're going to move up on the Gaia forming track, and the Terrans are getting a point because they always get points. Is what they do. My turn. I don't see. I have those 2 QICs, which is nice. I don't see a ton of utility in trying to do anything else right now. So let me look at the round boosters and see which one I want for next round. It's a little silly to take the power. I really kind of want the 2 credit and the QIC. The problem is I don't have anything else to do right now, or anything else that makes sense for me to do right now. The 3... that might not be the worst idea. See, I'm looking at how I could potentially get myself out of that really tied up cluster. That's not great. Yeah, I put myself in a spot, kids. All right. Let me, again, being far away isn't the worst thing because number of satellites could actually, you know, is one of the in-game scoring. So I'm going to want to get a number of satellites, which is something else I'm going to need to look at, a way to get a lot of tokens in my pool. But you got to be careful with having a lot of tokens in your power track. Tokens in your power track for most factions, those are what become satellites. But if you have too many tokens in your power track, it's going to be really hard to get them all the way through the cycle to get them into the 3rd bucket where you need them to use them to power things. So there's a lot of things to consider. So I think I'm going to take, oh, that's such a waste. It's such a waste. I don't like any of these options. Wow. All right, this can come off. I mean, I'm tempted. I might maybe just do a power action just to get the 2 credit and a QIC, but it also seems kind of silly. I see I'm already powering 2, so powering 2 would just be redundant, but then, all right, let me just get the knowledge and the ore. I know I'll be able to use that eventually. So I pass, I keep the first player marker here, which is fine, and then this will go to the right side of the round boosters, and it's very specific in the rules, the right side. So we're gonna do that. The Automa's turn, maybe they will finally finish. They do. So there's our little red X, which we were looking for a while. And now, so they call end of round and pass. And now we're going to take their 7 cards and we're going to add 1 more card. So they're going to have 8 cards going to the next round. We're going to get their deck set up for the next round. And since both players have passed, there's a couple of things we'll do. So we're going to take the bottom 3, rotate them sideways, put this on top, this goes here. This comes off the board to remind me to score their round bonus. Now, every round bonus tile has 1 number on the left, 1 number on the right. And the number on the left might be 0. The number on the right, I don't think ever is. So if it's the first, second, or third round, you give the Automa the number of points for the number on the left. So they're going to get 3 points, and now the Terrans take the lead, and this will come out of play. The other QIC things that were covered up will come off the power QIC actions, I should say. They will all come off, and now we are ready for round 2. So the first step of round 2 is going to be the income phase. So again, 5 things you might get in income. 1, QICs. I do not get any QICs in income. 2 is knowledge. I'm going to get 1 knowledge, 2 knowledge, and then 3 knowledge because of the knowledge track. So it's going to be 5 knowledge total, which is giving me some ideas. All right, we're going to do power. I'm going to get 2 power charged. We're going to do ore. Now this is not income, so I don't get that. That was a one-time bonus. Remember, it has the little star on it. But I do get income for this, for the round booster, and then 2 mines, that's 3 ore. I'll go on to 3, and then I get 3 credits because this trading station is on the board. So I go from a 4 to a 7 there. So you see I'm looking a little bit poor here. That is fine. The round bonus for this round is going to be getting 5 points for putting a planetary institute or an academy on the board. That's the same bonus as in round 5. But in round 5, remember the Automa is going to get 5 points just because he breathes and exists in, not really, metaphorically. In this round, he will get 0 points. So it would be a nice little swing for me if I strategically, if it makes sense for me to do that, which I'm not sure it does. So I think it might make more sense. Wow, because it'd be 4 ore. I only have 3. That would be a lot. I think it makes more sense for me to get my... Oh, and then we go to the Gaia phase. I do have 1 power in the Gaia phase. So the Gaia phase, this just comes down into my first bucket. I don't think I'm going to make my planetary institute. I think that would really be a mistake. And I think it's more important for me to get out of that little hole that I'm in. I'm going to do cycle 5. And that's going to give me 2 terraforming steps because of that. So I'm doing this power action. So I'm going to do 2 terraforming steps, and I can immediately do a build a mine action because I did that. So I'm going to spend 1 ore and 2 credit. And I'm going to put a mine on something that's 2 terraforming steps of brown and red. I could also obviously underdo it, but then it would be no point for me to spend 5. I could have spent 3 and done that if I wanted to. Unfortunately, I have no... I think if I just did the 3, then I could put those 2 in here and get some more knowledge. But I'm going to be so strong in knowledge. And I think it'll be easier, especially since there's that round booster, which is the terraforming step. I think it'd be easier. Oh, shoot. The Terrans was supposed to take a new power card. So I just looked. The card that, the final support card, so the X came out, you look at the final support card. The final support card had the symbol, there's always a symbol all the way for which of the power cards to take. And it had the one that was all the way on the left. So this would go back here to the right side, and everything else will slide over to set up for the end of this round. And now he takes a new round booster. So it allows me access. It makes sure that I can, if there are round boosters I really want to make sure I can get it. All right, so what am I doing now? I have spent my ore, I've spent my credit. I'm now looking at ways where I want to put this and considering whether I just want to do just a single terraforming step and maybe take that brown, or even smarter actually. I was originally thinking about trying to take this red because I'm worried about those guys getting blocked in, but the red is not going to give me close access to anything else I can easily terraform. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to terraform. I'm going to terraform this planet. So I have the 2 terraforming steps by cycling this and covering that. I spent the ore, I spent the credit. Now, how am I putting it there? So my range is only 1, but I could spend, if you go to this chart here, you can spend a QIC to increase your range 2. So I'm going to spend 1 of these QIC to give me a range of 3. So I'm ultimately spending 5 power, 1 ore, 2 credit, and a QIC to put a mine on this brown planet, which is 2 terraforming steps away from my home planet type of white. but that will really help give me a little bit more breathing room on this board. So I'm pretty happy about that. No round bonus for that, which is fine. And now we're going to do the Automa's first turn. Again, that's just a support card. And the second card is a power QIC action. It is numbered selection 5. So we're going to go 1. We skip over this because, again, I've already covered that one with my own action. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he gets 1 point. So the Terrans doubles their lead. Okay. My turn. I'm going to try to get this economic track right now. Going up the knowledge track doesn't make that much more sense because I'm going to be getting 4 knowledge a turn anyway. So we're going to spend the 4 knowledge there to move up 1 on the economic track to really start helping with my cycling, get me some more credits and some more ore as we move up that. The Automa's turn. Action card becomes a support card. The new action card is an upgrade action. So this is new. We did not see one of these last time. So upgrade actions. The Automa upgrades in order of it has a 4 priority list. The first thing it wants to do is upgrade a trading station into a planetary institute. Second, it wants to upgrade a mine into a trading station. Third, it wants to upgrade a research lab into an academy, and fourth, it wants to upgrade a trading station into a research lab. All right. So at this point, it doesn't have any trading stations on the board, so we're going to have to do the second step there, which is doing a mine into a trading station. So we are going to look for trading stations. We have 3 mines. We have 3 mines that are all within range 2 because that is a second tiebreaker. So once we determine what kind of upgrade we're going to do, we find the planet that is closest to one of our planets. Since there are 3 that are all within range 2, we will then take the support card and we're going to look for that little squiggle. So that is the directional selection. So we have number selection for QIC power actions. We have directional selection for upgrade and placement actions when there's a tie. And since that is coming from the bottom and going up toward the top, we're going to go all the way up to this one, and that will be the subject of our upgrade. Now I could spend a point to power 2. There is no point to doing that I can see, and the Automa is going to get a point. Cool. My turn. I am going to pass. No, I'm not going to pass. I'm considering it. Jesus. I am going to. I really want the Automa to give me more access. So next round, trading stations are worth 3. So there might be some. I could put another research lab on the board. I'm not sure that's gonna help all that much. I put a research lab on the board. I get another technology, which could be interesting. Question is what tech that I actually want, but it also would allow me to cycle 4. So I can take this tech, cycle 8, which would give me a lot more knowledge. So don't hate that. I could move up in the economic track if I do that too. Shoot. Sure. Why not? I'm going to turn this QIC, because I'm not really... All the Gaia planets are over here, so I'm not really terraforming a Gaia planet anyway. So I'm going to take this QIC, I'm going to turn that into an ore. That is part of my handy-dandy trades that I'm allowed to do. Now, notice that's a downgrade, right? So QICs tend to be more valuable, but in this case, I really wanted the QIC. So I'm going to spend this 3 ore and this 5 credits. I am zeroed out except for this 1 knowledge. I'm going to upgrade this trading station into a research lab. and that's going to allow me to take a tech tile. I'm going to take this power cycling tech tile, and that's going to allow me to move up on any planet of my choice, any tech of my choice. So when I took this tile, I had to move up on the knowledge track. I took from this, I have to move up on the economic track, and that is all. The alternative is passing. I just felt too soon to pass it. Now, being able to cycle that much power might work really well with Nevlas' ability to gain more knowledge, which in turn I can move further up the tech track, which hopefully will snowball a little bit for me in the last 3 rounds. Right, so the Automa's going. They are placing a... Oop, I forgot to place a satellite here. So they have 2 and 3. They are placing a mine. They replaced the endgame scoring tile. Again, doesn't matter. So 1 is green here. If it was a different kind of endgame scoring tile, that might matter. But for our purposes, it doesn't. Range 4. They are looking for blue planets. Oh, perfect. Blue planets, range 4. We're doing blue because it is the fewest terraforming steps. And I really like it here because it will allow me to make this mine into a trading station for much cheaper next round, which is what I need. So I could spend, now this is right next to it, but I can't power a power. I have to power based on the highest level building that I have within 2. So I'd have to spend a point to power 2, and I do not want to do that. I have enough powering things going on, so I'm not going to worry about that. And the Automa gets 1 point, extending their lead some more. I am going to pass. Why? Because I have literally squadouche more I can do. Now it is a little unfortunate that I was hoping to potentially terraform that blue planet, but it's I think it's better, especially with where the scoring is, to just have the ability to make that into a trading station cheaper. And to that end, I'm going to take this round booster, which is the 2 credit income and the 1 QIC income. And I'm going to put this one back to the right, and I retain the first player token. The Automa is going to finish out their round, and they have, this is an action. It has an X, but it wasn't a horizontal card, so it's unfortunate. And they are going to do an upgrade. The upgrade that they have to do, they want to do, their biggest priority is to get their Planetary Institute on the board. Go you Terrans, and they get 1 point. I could spend 1 point to power 2, don't want to. And now we are in the possible end game. Of course not. They are moving up on the track where they are the highest, so they go up to the top of the Terra. That's as high as they can go. They can never go to level 5, so they're as high as they're going to go on that track, and they're going to get 1 point as per the card. They're going to go again. Is it green? Of course it is. Automa action. They're going to move up on this track. Now, since they're already at 4 and they never go to 5, this gets thrown out. So that is no longer considered a valid track for the rest of their knowledge track actions. They're going to place a mine. So it's a little unlucky that they keep getting 2 extra turns around when they could be over, but that's part of what happens in this game. So their goal, again, when they're doing Automa action, they're really looking for Transdim planets, and the tiebreaker is going to be closest to me. And so it's going to be that one down there, or right up there, far away from me. Far, far away with Luke. All right, this is there. Now that does get another satellite because it is, oh, this gets a satellite too. I feel like I'm missing, usually a lot more satellites. I mean, I know I have these up there and whatnot, but that's fine. So there's one there, and I'm going to put a satellite here. So they don't get satellites for their initial placements, but every time they add something that's not directly adjacent, they get another satellite. So that's up there, 4th satellite. That's their 5th structure. So that's their 6th structure. So there are 5 there. So they're really doing well on those endgame scoring tracks. All right. So he placed on that Transdim planet. I'm not even close enough to power if I wanted to, and they're going to get 2 points as per the Automa card. All right, last turn, one way or the other, and of course they get another action. It is a random move up the tracks. Number selection is 2, 1, 2. Both of those are valid, so we're good. 0 points. We're going to flip this over. Now this last action card becomes a support card. There's obviously nothing else to pull, so their round is over. This says to take the right round booster, which the one I just put back, and we're going to put this over here on the right. So the Automa is going to get set for the next round. So notice they had 3 more turns than me that round, so that's a bad trend. If the Automa gets 3 more turns than you every round, you're probably gonna not do well comparatively. So there definitely is an element where the cards can really kill you in this game, but it creates a nice variety. So we are going to take, there should be 9 cards here. Or I'm going to throw 3 of them sideways, so the Automa is going to have somewhere between 5 and 7 turns this round. We are going to do the end round scoring. It's a 0 for this one, so that goes out. It would be 5 points if it was around 4, 5, or 6, but it is not. And we're going to take all of these QIC things and reset those. And now we go to round 3, where the bonus is for trading stations. We are going to get income. Again, there are 5 things you can get income for. I will be getting a QIC because of my round booster. I'm going to look at my income for cycling power. I get to cycle 6 power. So I get 2 for this. I had that last round. He had a million more turns, so I should have done that as an action last round. So I cycled 4 from last round. All right, so sorry for that. Now, cycling power is really the reason I took that card, to be kind of silly not to use it. So we're cycling power for income. So that was an action. This is income. So 2, 4, and then I have another 2 on the board. So I cycle 6 power. So this is 2, and these 4 will come over here. Cool. So I've done QICs, I've done power, knowledge. I get 1 here and 3 there, so I get 4 knowledge. So I go 1 to 5. And I have 1, 2, 3 ore plus 1 ore, so 4 ore goes 0 to 4. And I have 2 credit and 2 credit for my round booster, so I go from 0 to 4 there. Rough. I am going to, what am I going to do? With my first action, definitely going to need credits. Definitely going to need credits. So, credits are really, you could always spend 1 power for a credit, but I could also spend 1 power for an ore, so it's like, or for a knowledge, so like, you've got to really think about how you want to work this. I'm going to spend, I'm also going to need ore. Or do I want to do that? No. Ooh, if I did that, oh, that'd be interesting. My Planetary Institute would give me each of my power that I cycle is worth 2. And again, it's something you don't want to do too early, but this could be about right. I just didn't feel like, I just wasn't able to make the math work to justify it last round. I do need to get another mine on the board. I got a lot of things I need to do, kids. What is happening? So let me, I think it makes sense to make sure I don't get pigeonholed to get another mine on the board. I'd like to be range 2. I'm not sure that's going to be possible. Couple of options. All right. So this is 2 terraforming steps. The grays are 1. I am going to, the reds are 1,000,000. The oranges are 1,000,000. I am going to, I really need to add some more QIC. I need to do a lot of things here. I'm going to, I normally don't do the Gaia forming track, but the second level gets you those +2. It's starting to look attractive right now, to be honest. Although I could keep doing that action each round too. I digress. So I'm going to cycle 3 to give me 1 terraforming step. With that action. And then I'm going to spend my QIC. I'm going to spend 1 ore and 2 credits. Oh, is that smart? I'm banking that I'm going to be able to recycle this. Yeah, I think that's smart. All right. 1 ore and 2 credits, and I'm going to place a mine. And I spent the QIC. Spent the mine here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna need to find a way to get 4 credits and 1 more ore back, but I think I'll be okay. I think that's still the right move. All right. So the Terrans go. They have their support card. They are placing a mine. Their end game scoring doesn't matter. They're placing a mine range 2. So, since we're not doing their special action, Transdim planets. Transdim planets don't matter. We're looking at, are there any blue planets within range 2? Definitely not. So we're looking at white, green, white, red, or Gaia. Only range 2. So this is range 2, this is range 2, range 2, range 2. There are no whites range 2. That is everything. So the tiebreaker after that's going to be closest to me. So that's out, that's out, that's out. So we only have that one left. Now, since it's directly adjacent, it does not get a new satellite. However, it does give him 1 more toward his federation total. I am more than 2 away, so I can't power, but he can, so he gets 1 point. My turn. I am going to do magical things. Maybe. Let me do this power. So I'm going to cycle 3 and cycle 3 from 1 to 2, and then 1 from 2 to 3. Then it's going to be his turn. He is going to go up on a track, numbered selection 4. So this is valid to this 1, valid 2. This is not valid because there is no longer an advanced action tile or advanced tech tile. So 1, 2, we're going to skip that one, 3 and 4. He moves up 1 on the tech track. He gets 0 points. Don't be sad. All right, I'm going to spend 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to move up on the economic track, and that gives me a cycle ability to cycle 3. Yeah. I'm probably not going to build this to around 5 because it's 5 points a pop at that point. And I'll figure out a way to do what I need to do here. I think I'll be right. His turn. He is going to go up another track, numbered selection 4, 1, 2, 3, skipping that one, 4. He gets 2 points. They're making a break for it. All right, I am going to spend 2. Ooh. 7. Probably. I might only get 1 trade extension out this turn, which is fine. So I'm going to spend, I'm going to cycle 4 power to do this action and get 7 credit. His turn. He's doing an Automa action. He's going to move up on the Gaia former track. He's already at the top as far as he can go, so we're fine there. He's doing a mine, Transdim planet. Transdim planets are never in my neighborhood, which is super annoying, but range 4, so pretty much all the Transdim planets on the board are in range, and it's going to be closest to me that is going to win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All 3 of those are in range 4. So we're going to do the directional selection is going to be the one at the top of the screen. So that goes there. We get a Gaia planet to cover this Transdim planet, and that is fine. And he gets, as per the Automa card, he's going to get 2 points there. My turn. I'm spending 2 ore and 3 credit to turn this mine into a trading station. That's the only place where I can do that for only the 3, because that's all my other mines are more than 2 away from any of the Automa units. And because I built a trading station and it's round 3, I am going to get that 3-point bonus to finally start scoring a little bit again. Kind of a little bit slow lately. We are going to do an upgrade action. So the Automa is going to do an upgrade. It's going to do an upgrade of since its Planetary Institute is already on the board, all of its mines are already on the board. Oh, by the way, this gets another satellite. I am missing a lot of satellites. It's very weird. I put them somewhere. Oh, they're into my computer. That makes sense. I'm like, I knew there was more satellites. I don't want to move my computer because it's too much. Yeah, I'll just switch these up. I move my computer, I'm gonna jack up the camera, and that ain't gonna be good. So I just need other reminder tokens for the end game scoring. So that's going to go here. So that's another satellite. So we'll adjust that at the end of the round. So he's doing an upgrade action on a mine to a trading station closest to me. So there's a few different possibilities. There are 3 that are within 2. Oh, never mind. There's this one, which is right next door to me. So this mine here is going to become a trading station. I could upgrade. I could cycle power by spending 1 point. I do not want to, and he's going to get 1 point for that yeoman's effort he just put forth there. I have no easy way to get myself an extra ore, so I'm going to save those credits for next round, and I think that will do. I want yikes. Already cycling a lot of power. Definitely would have preferred that one there, but I think we'll be okay. Let me take the terraforming step so I can get another mine on the board there. Might even go here. Doing that, I could actually just spend the 5 to go there. Yeah, I really don't like these round boosters. They're not obviously good, and I am not amazing enough at this game yet. So actually, other planet types I have in case I do certain things later. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I don't want that. I'm going to take the range because I think that makes some more sense. And let's put some mines out. Ooh, that might be worth it. Okay, so it is going to be, I've already passed. I keep my little first player thing. Is the Automa's turn. It could be the end of the game, and it is. They get this round booster. This one goes here. Stupid little Intel logo keeps stopping my boosters from sliding. So there's all these cards. We're gonna add 1 more to it. So we have 10, which is good. And we're gonna take those 3, put them sideways. We're gonna do the round scoring. Terrans gets 3 points. This goes off the table. And then all the QIC actions are gonna come down. Income. All right, this comes down. Income. We are getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 power. So 4 plus 5 more. So I had 6. So it's 4 from 1 to 2, and then another 5 from 2 to 3. So all 6 of mine are in the final pool, which is fairly strong. really need to be strategic how I play this out. All right, so that's cool. I'm going to get the rest of my income. I get 1 ore and then +3, so I get 4 ore. I'm going to get 3 credit plus 3, 6 more credit gets me up to 12, and I get 4 knowledge, which gets me up to 5. So the round scoring is Gaia Planet, and I'm tempted to go out here for that, but I think that kind of would be sending me off on a wild goose chase. That might not be the greatest idea. Well, I wanna move up on 3 tracks. Cycle 4, cycle 5, build a line there. All right, I'm gonna do this knowledge, and I am going to move up on the AI track, and I'm going to take a QIC. It's a little, normally you wouldn't go up a 3rd track this early, but I think this is the right move. So we'll see how it works out. So that's the first action and the second action. So the support card, the action card is we are doing a QIC action, and it's going to be numbered selection 2, and it's going to be 3 points. So you see how the Automa, so this is not one of their initial starter cards. So you see like a lot of the cards that they get added into their deck start giving them more and more points for less and less impressive actions. So that's that. I'm now going to do the range 3 action, which allows me to do a build a mine action. And I am going to spend this QIC, 1 ore, and 2 credit to place a mine on that Gaia planet. So when you terraform a Gaia planet, you either have a Gaia former on there, which obviously I'm not doing a Gaia former strategy this game, or you just spend a QIC. So I needed that range. A QIC can also, again, give you range. So if I spent the 2 QIC, I could spend 1 QIC to get there and 1 QIC to be able to colonize it, but I didn't need the extra QIC because I had that round booster with the range. So since I colonized a Gaia planet, I get 4 points, and that is good. So the Terrans are going to go. They're doing another power QIC action, and this is one of their starter ones, so it's only worth 1 point. They're going to put a numbered selection 3, 1. They're going to skip the one they already covered, 2, 3, and they get 1 point. Those Terrans. So they actually covered the double terraformer, and I was definitely eyeing that one, which is fine. They're a bunch of jerks. I'm used to their kind. I might. Oh man, I really probably should start adding some things in here so I can get some satellites on the board. Is what I should do. Let me. I'm gonna get my I have 6 things in there. I think it makes sense for me to get my planetary institute on the board finally. So I'm gonna spend the 4 ore that I have. Zeroes me out. There's no option here. It's 6-4. That's it. Doesn't matter how far away you are from things. And I have 10 credits. So I'm gonna spend 6 of them. And I'm gonna put this planetary institute here, and that is worth 3 power. So it's getting me close to the 7 I'm gonna need for a federation, which is exciting. And since that, oh shoot, I want to do that next round. Sorry. That's the rounds. The round bonus next round is the Planetary Institute. So I think it's worth waiting to make sure I get those 5 points. It's so backwards, this game. In the best of ways, don't get me wrong. That's also next round. I could move up another finger. I don't know if it makes sense for me to build another research lab. I'm going to want to add more. Might be a good opportunity to do that. Alright, fine. We're going to cycle 3 so I can get some more things in there, because I'm gonna want a lot for some satellites later. So I cycle 3 power to add 2 power into my bucket 1 of my Gaia forming, of my power cycle. the Automa goes, they're going to move that support card into the discard, action card over, new action card is an upgrade action. And they still have 3 research stations to use for upgrading. They have 2 mines that are both within range 2 of me. The directional selection says to start from the bottom and go right to left all the way up, which means that this one is going to be the closest one to me as per directional selection, and not any closer, but it's going to be the one that is going to be upgraded this time. And since it's upgraded within 2, I could spend 1 point as power 2. I will not, and the Terrans are going to power 1. My turn. Let me do my special action before I forget. So that's cycles 4. The Terrans' turn. The Terrans are going to another 3-point QIC action, which is bananas. So they're going to cover this. They are then going to... They're then going to get 3 points. Alright, so we need to start figuring out how to catch up in this piece. I think I want to... Oh man, I really want that card. I wanted that card because that would have been really sick, because it would have been a nice combination of round bonus and end of round scoring. But obviously that wasn't meant to be. So I am going to... I definitely don't want to rid myself of any tokens there. Still not within range 2 with these guys. Gosh, I don't want to spend 6 credit. Alright, I'm going to move these 3 over, which is going to give me 3 knowledge because of my special ability. And then I'm going to spend my 4 knowledge to move up on a track. I'm going to move up on the economic track and max that out, because I'm going to need all the resources I can muster next turn. Yes. Okay, it's going to be his turn. He is going to place a mine. Endgame doesn't matter. Range 2. So he's doing range 2. Oh, that's interesting. Range 2, he's doing... So I'm like so jammed up over there, it's gross. He's doing range 2, and he's doing the... So he's looking for blues range 2, there are none. The second level is going to be whites, reds, and greens. So this is a red range 2, green range 2. So they're considered to have the same number of terraforming steps. Red, green, range 2. That is it. No more whites, no more reds, no more greens. So we're going to do the closest one to me. That is 3 away. This is more. So we're going to get this guy. Again, he's very far from me. So I can't power off that. Since he's off in no man's land with that, he's going to get another satellite, and then he's going to get 1 point. Now, let me adjust this. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 satellites on the board. That's actually correct. I have 0 because I haven't formed a federation yet. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 structures. So -1, that's 8. So he's clearly going to be in really good shape for the end game bonuses, but not that worried yet. We're a little worried, not overwhelmingly so though. If I spend 6, I would get this back. I think that makes some sense. I'm wondering if I can turn this into a federation, but I think that's gonna be tough, because this is so not close to what I want it to be close to. But if I... so many terraforming steps. That other white's all the way down there. I can get a white here if I get the range. I need a QIC. Alright. I'm going to... I think I'm going to have a really... My goal is to have like a really 6th round. but I'm not sure if I've actually timed this right. So I'm going to spend the two. I need 10 ore to do what I want to do next round. I'm only getting 2 there. 3. If I can take that, just take the ore. I can use QICs for ore. I can also cycle for 2 ore. Form a federation and get 2 ore. I got ways to get ore. Alright, so I'm going to spend 2 there and 6. I'm going to need 12 credit. 7. I'm going to get the 12 credit. That's without a doubt. So I'm going to turn this mine into a trading station. There's no bonus to that, but it just looks better. And I'm really, probably not taking that anymore. I don't think I can. Alright, so his turn. QIC is going to become ore, so if I keep moving up the AI track, that's another way I can get some ore. So he's moving up number on a knowledge track. Number selection is 4, 1, 2. We skip this 1, 3, 4, so he gets 4 more points for that at the end of the game, and then he gets a 0. Let me make sure I get the end game or the round booster I'm going to really need next round. I think it makes the most sense since I can turn QICs into ore and I don't need the knowledge. I think it makes the most sense for me to take this one. That's going to go there. These are going to move over. I keep the first round booster. Not a great sign. Normally when I'm doing really well in this game, I have so many actions that I am not keeping that all game. But this game has been an exception. So of course he gets a green light because he just gets a lot of those this game. He's going number selection, moving up the tracks 1, 2, 3, skip this one 4. So he's up there on 3 tracks right now, which ain't great. And he's getting 2 points for the pleasure. And he's going to go again. Please be an X. And no. Wow. He is placing a mine on a Transdim planet. Range 4, closest to me. Oh, that's kind of beautiful. Though, let me upgrade this to a trading station a lot easier. So closest to me, this is directly adjacent. He's gonna get a satellite for that. We're gonna make that into a Gaia planet. I can power for free because this is a power of a 1, so I can power 1 for 1 less points. 1 less points is 0, so 0 points, 1 power. And then he's going to get 2 points for that Automa faction action. And will he end now? Yes. All right, so he's going to get the support card, says the one on the right. This goes back. And he's going to take his deck of 10 cards. He's going to get an 11th. 11. So that means next round he will have somewhere between, wait, so we're doing 11, 8. So he'll be doing 7 to 9 actions next round. And he'll get 5 points at the end of it just because he's so awesome. Alright. This is going to go here and here. We're going to give him his bonus here. So it's only 2, even though it is the second round. This one actually is 2 points either way. So we're going to give him 2 points for that. And then all the QIC actions are going to come off the board. We go to income phase for round 5. So this is where I need to make a move clearly. I'm going to get 1 QIC. I'm going to get 4 knowledge. I'm going to get I'll do power last because it's going to be the most confusing. I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ore. I'm going to get 4, 8, 11, 13 credit. So I have 4 on the board. So 4 plus 13 is going to be 17. So this is going to max out to the 15. And then 2 more there. And then I'm going to get power. I'm going to cycle 8 power. So that's all just going to go there. I only had 5 in bucket 2. Now we go to Gaia phase. These come out. Remember, I took them out of bucket 3, put them in the Gaia phase in the Gaia area last round because I turned those into knowledge. So that's the downside of doing that. I am going to go first. I'm going to make sure I do whatever I can to get that better. I'm going to make sure that those are maximized by having my Planetary Institute on the board, which is exactly why I didn't do this last round, because I get the 5 points of putting this on this round. It's all very complicated. All right, so I'm spending 4 ore. So I go 7 to 3, and then I'm spending 6 credits. So this 2 is going to go down to 0, so I have to spend 4 more. So I'm from 17 to 11 credit. I'm putting my Planetary Institute on the board. Hither. And that gives me 5 points because of the round bonus. So I go from 24 to 29. Making a move. We're going to then have Dingleberry's turns. Dingleberry moves up on its highest track. That's legit. This one doesn't count anymore. So its number selection is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeesh. 1 point. He's going to get so many points for those tracks. It's kind of gross. My turn. I am going to make sure I can spend these as if they were, because this is open, I can spend a power in the third area as if it was 2 power. So I'm going to spend 2 of these to use this power action, and I'm going to get 2 ore, which is cool. His turn. He's going to go this over. The new action card is an Automa action. So Automa action, he is going to place, so the Gaia Forge track's done. We know that by now. He's going to terraform another, or he's going to Gaia form and then colonize another Transdim planet. The one that's closest to me is going to be this one. He's going to put a mine on there. That, since that is adjacent to other existing structures, he does not get a new satellite. However, that is going to keep moving him up on the Federation building track, and he's going to get 2 points as per the Automa card. My turn. I'm going to take 2 of these and put them into my Gaia area to give me. I want to do that right now. I don't know if I need to do that right now. Now, I'm going to go up. I'm going to spend 4 knowledge to move up on this track, and that's going to give me a QIC. I have an idea. Might be crazy, but we'll see if it works. Yeah, I kind of like it. I kind of like it. So he's going to go. He's going to do a QIC action. He's going to get 3 points. So QIC action number selection is 2, and he gets 3 points. 1, 2, 3, and that is all she wrote. My turn. I am going to spend 2 of these to get 4 knowledge, again, because I can count them as if they're 2 power. And then I'm going to use that to go up here to get 2 more QIC, really trying to load up them for some big point plays. And then it allows me to cycle 3 as per, again, that middle row. Every time you get into the 4th level, through a 3rd level, so it's 0, starts with 0, not 1. 3rd level, you get to cycle 3. So it's the 3rd time I've done that this game. I really wish this wasn't on the terraforming track, because I don't really want to start moving up a 4th track. But, I mean, the 2 ore wouldn't be the worst idea I've ever had, but I just don't think that's the most efficient. So let me see how I can potentially power myself into 3 federations would be nice. So, Terran's turn. He gets, man, he's been crushing that QIC 3-point action like crazy. So 1, 2, 3, and 3 points. 2, 3. My turn. I'm going to spend, well, let me make sure I do this action. So I'm going to power 4, 2, and 2. His turn. Huh. His turn, he's doing an upgrade action. I think I'll have enough to do what I want to do. Alright, he's doing an upgrade action, so he's upgrading a mine into a trading station. This one is right next door to me, which means I can power for free, which is nice, and he's going to get a point. Alright, my turn. I am going to really do what I did not plan on doing, but I think this was going to be great. So I'm going to spend 3 power. Again, I can use those as if they are 2 each, so that's a total of 6 power. Now I'm going to lose that extra power, right? I lose, I'm only spending 5, so I just lose it, which is fine. And then I'm going to get a double terraforming step. So then I'm going to spend 1 ore and 2 credit. Now the double terraforming step, I'm on white. I can actually terraform a red building using that double terraforming step. And I'm going to put a mine there since it's directly adjacent. I don't have to worry about spending even a QIC to get to it. And that's a nice grouping of 7 power for my first federation, which is what I'm talking about. All right, his turn. His turn. He's gonna get a power action. He's gonna cover this one and get a point. My turn. I'm going to turn. I need more ore. All right, I'm going to turn these 2 QICs into an ore each. I think that makes the most sense. I mean, there's other things I could do here, but I'm not really seeing it. So these are both an ore. So I have 6 ore. I'm spending my 6 ore and 6 credits to put a academy on the board. I'm going to put the academy on the board here. And since I put an academy on the board and it's around 5, and that's the booster, I get 5 points. It gets me up to 34. His turn. Automa action. So he's going to move up the Gaia Project track. That's dead. He's going to cover up the last Transdim planets. So he'll still build his next Automa action. It's just the first tiebreaker is now done. And he's going to get 2 points for that action because he gets rewarded for being awesome. My turn. I am going to use my little academy action because once that opened up another action on my board that allows me to get a QIC every turn, which makes me happy. His turn. He's going to do this. And this, he's doing an upgrade action. He's putting his last trading station on the board. Range 2, this is the only one that's still within 2 of me. Do not want to power off that. He gets a point. My turn. Ooh. That stinker covered that one up. That's gross. I'm going to, now again, every time I can move up a track next turn is going to be massive because it's 2 points a pop. All right. I'm going to, if I want to form my federation. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Take this back. So he gets 1 point less, and this trading station goes back to a mine. Because that was I'm so used to him having 17 turns. So that was his first X. So actually, his round ended when he pulled the X. He gets this. This goes back here. I wanted that. That was a 12-point card for me, which is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He gets his last card added to his deck. And now he's going to get 5 points because of this endgame scoring. round end scoring. So I'll take that red token off there to indicate I've already given him those points. Probably should have called end. No, I need to get that the academy out. No, I had the chance. Doesn't make sense for me to. I'm going to be powering so much power. It doesn't make sense for me to build any federations this round, because I'm going to be able to use them a lot better and then burn them all for satellites. So, all right, I think we're in a decent spot despite the scoreboard not looking great. And if I still get crushed, I'm going to look like a real moron, which won't be the first time. All right, so we're done with him. Let me. Alright, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am going to have to build. I'm going to build another academy. I'm only getting 2. 9. I'm going to need another. I don't think it makes sense for me to build any more mines. So I'm just going to have to make this an academy. Build more mines. Can make that a trading station. That'd probably be cheaper. I'm going to need one more satellite to connect everything. But I'm going to get crushed in the Federation. But if I could actually tie him. So if I build one more building, then I would have 8. And I could get them all in a Federation and tie the dummy player, but it really is just a 3-point difference, because it basically, when there's a tie, we would basically take the 6 for third and the 12 for second and add them together and divide it. So it's probably just better to punt that, try to win the satellites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I'm going to get 9 out there. I mean, I might get crushed on that too, but it is what it is. And then get the 9 out there, and then at least beat the dummy player on that, and see what I can do with endgame scoring. With all the other stuff I'll be able to do. So I think, since I'm not planning to build any more mines, I'm going to focus all my energy just on moving up tracks and getting points and all of that good stuff. I'm going to, I'll probably be building academies because of tactile, research labs because of tactiles is what I'll probably be doing. Yeah. Maybe. This is what I'm definitely going to be using. So, all right. So that goes there. We already paid him his end round scoring, so we can put that off. And then we're going to take all of the QIC actions and clear them up. We're going to do income. Income. I get no QICs. I get 4 knowledge. Nope, 5 knowledge. So 1 plus 3 plus 1. So 5 knowledge. I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 2, 6 ore. I'm going to get 4 plus 3, 7 credit. So that gets me up to 10. And then power, I'm going to get to cycle 10 power. So I can add 1. So I add 1. Oh, I actually have all the power I need. It's perfect. It's exactly how much power I wanted. And I'm going to cycle 10. So I add 1, cycle 10. So this is 4. And then this is the last 6. So I powered 10. So I now have 7 in bin 3, which is kind of absurdly gross because that's what I needed. All right, what is happening? I'm only gonna be able to make two federations, so that's gonna change some things. All right, let's do it. So I am going to. Oh, and then Gaia phase, this comes down. Because it does. Oh, and if I put anything else in here, if you put anything in here, you can't discard it. You can only discard. So if I was trying to discard something for a satellite, I can't. I no longer can use my ability for. Because I want all. Basically, I want all 9 of these. All 9 of these on the board as a satellite. So I can't put any of those into my Gaia area because then I wouldn't have access to them to burn them to make satellites, which is, you know, kind of not ideal. So I'm going to, oh, I get those. Sure. This is crazy. Tactile is garbage. And I'm just doing a lot of point grabs. 8, 2, 8. I need to cycle. I'm going to need more credits for sure. So I'm going to cycle 2. Again, 2 is 4 for me. And that's going to be 7 more credits. So I go from 10 to 17. The Terrans, that's their support card, and they do a QIC action. Oh, they're gonna be. That's the one. That's the one I wanted. So they're going to cover that one, which is I can spend 3 QIC to basically double the benefit of a Federation token I already have. So I definitely have my eye on that for later in the round, but that's fine. He gets. I mean, it's not fine, but what can I do? So he gets a point there. So there's other ways I'll be able to kind of make up those points. I have terraformed a decent number of planet types. I have terraformed 5 planet types to be exact. Ho ho ho. All right. So yeah, there's things I could do to kind of make up for that. So let me, I think I need to do that. All right, I'm going to form a satellite. A federation, I mean. Yes, a federation. An awesome federation. By spending these 3 from my area 1, I'm going to turn them all to satellites. So again, when you're discarding, you can discard from any of the 3 areas you want. Again, you can't discard from the Gaia area. So I formed 3 satellites, so that's going to get me on the board there. And then I get a Federation token. I'm going to take the Federation token that gives me... I think I'm going to end up with more QSE than I really need, which is unusual. I'm going to take this Federation token. That's going to give me 7 points. So I go from 34 to 41, and I'm going to get 2 ore. The Terrans' turn. They're doing another QIC action, so they're covering 5, which is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't want that one anyway. He gets 3 points. He was on 68. He's now on 71. I am going to spend the 4. I've got to get up to here for sure. Yeah, there my whole board opens up that way. So I'm going to cycle this is the easiest way for me to get knowledge. So I'm going to cycle these 4, which is the equivalent of 7. And I'm going to get 3 knowledge. Now remember, I could have just, if I just wanted 3 knowledge, I could have put them in here, but I need these tokens. I'm basically connecting those buildings, which is going to maximize my satellites for this game. So that's how I had to play that. And again, I lost the bonus, but that's fine because I basically spent 4, which is equivalent of 8, but I only got the benefit of 7. But I'm okay with that. So, Terrans' turn. They're doing an Automa action. They're doing a mine. They actually cannot place a mine. And when the Automa tries to place a mine and they can't, instead you do an upgrade. So they're upgrading this mine into a trading station. That is the closest one to me. And they're still going to get their 2 points because of the Automa action card. Here. Alright, my turn. I am going to... garbage. Alright, I'm going to spend... I'm going to do this action and get the QIC. So I'm worried they're going to start covering stuff up. On the QIC track. Alright, they're moving up a random track. These are both valid. 1, 2. No points. I'm going to spend 4. Move up on this track. Since I moved up on a track, I get 2 points because that is the end game scoring tile, or the round scoring tile. So 1, 2. His turn. He gets to move up on a track, the one that he's the highest on. So these 2 are both valid because they still have an advanced action token. So number selection is 4 coming from the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. This tile goes away. That's fine. I still can get out of section 5. I did not want that advanced action tile anyway, which is cool, and he gets a point. My turn. I'm spending the 4. I'm going to have to flip a Federation token, which I can easily do. And since I flipped that Federation token, I moved into there, and I get 9 more knowledge as a one-time thing. It's no longer income, which is why you wait to do it to the last round. His turn. He's going to... move up on a random thing. That's valid. 1. This goes away now too, which is fine. And he gets 2 points. My turn. I'm going to... Oh yeah, so actually my last turn when I went up and got the 9 knowledge, I forgot to get the 2 points because of the round bonus. So he already went. My turn now. I'm going to spend 4 of my QIC before he covers this. I probably played this order all wrong, but whatever. So I'm going to spend 4 QIC to take any either a regular action tile or an advanced action tile. I want the regular action tile, and it's really random, but I'm only gonna have 2 Federation tokens, so I'm only gonna be able to get into the 5th track on 2 of the 3 things that I'm there. So this is just more of a point grab. I'm gonna grab this. It is 7 points, so I'm gonna go from 45 to 52, and then I'm gonna move up on this track. I get another QIC, and then since I moved up on a track, I get 2 more points. The Automa's turn. So you see I'm closing the gap. All right, so he's going to do a 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. No! Bastard! Shit, I'm going to have all these QIC and nothing to do with them. Oh, that's so gross. Oh, man. I mean, that's gross. He gets 3 points. Shoot! That was, I mean, it would have been 8 points. It's not that much, but I could have done that instead of getting the 7 points. I mean, I could turn this into or. Ah, that was not, that was dirty. All right, well, you know, I mean, I'm gonna have so many resources. I don't think there's any way that I can get a 3rd Federation out of this, especially unless I just should have gone for that and I could have done the terraforming up and I'll have the QICs. But that's fine. Oh, it's dirty. It's fine and dirty. yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get to any of the Gaia planets. They're all over there, so you know, just a bunch of jerks being jerks. I will do this action to cycle 4. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use them, but just in case, his turn, he's playing a mine, and he's putting a mine. So now he can actually play a mine. He's going to put the mine on the... Oh, I hope he doesn't get a satellite. So he has 7. So hopefully this is connected to him. So he's looking at range 2. He's looking at blue planets, range 2. Oh, bingo. Bingo, bongo. It's great. But he gets another satellite. Never mind, it's not great. I can power 1, maybe. He gets a point, and now he's actually tied with the dummy player, which is a little gross. But hopefully I'll be able to beat them both still. I'm going to spend 4 knowledge to get 2, move up here. I get 2 QICs, and then I'm going to be able to get 2 points because I moved up on a research track. His turn. He does have it, because of course he does. He's covering up a QIC action. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he gets 3 points. Just stop it. What are you trying to prove? My turn. Ah, that's gross. Yeah. I'm just going to have to do it. I'm going to lose this cycling of 6, so I'm not going to have any QIC in there at all. I mean, I could do some really weird things there, but it's not going to matter. I really wanted the min-max. I mean, it couldn't give me an extra point, so I'm going to discard 1 to cycle 1 to cycle 2. So I'm going to cover this, and I get 2 more in here. And you'll see why. And like that's like the min-maxiest thing you could do. Like it's probably not going to matter. But if I lose by a point, I would have kicked myself. All right, so he gets the X. That's the end of his game. So we're going to do his scoring for the final round. He gets 4 points for the final round score. 1, 2, 3, 4. Q. I'm going to spend 6 of my power and discard them. Oh, yeah, to make 6 satellites. So 1, 2. Remember, when you put satellites on the board, they cannot be adjacent to any other of your satellites, any other structures. There can be multiple satellites of different factions in the same open area. So that's totally legit. You can't put a satellite where a planet is, but again, you could do that there, which is fine. And I've connected these 2 points. Oh, shoot. The one thing I forgot to do. So I discarded first. Before I do that, I'm going to have to spend 6 credit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 ore to make this mine into a trading station. Right. Then with my next turn, I discarded the 6 power. I'm going to make this into a federation. I need a federation token I can flip so I can get in there. So I think it makes sense. Yeah, I'll get this. I'm going to get the 8 points and the 2 and the add 2 power. All right. So my 8 points, I go from 56 to 64. Now I'm going to spend 4 knowledge to move up on this track by flipping this federation token. Again, you have to have a flip federation trip to flip, either to get an advanced tech tile, or to move into the 5th and final level of any of the tech tracks. So I flip that. I get 2 points because I advanced on the tech track. I need to get 3 more ore. I get 6 more credit. it goes from 11 to 17, and I get to cycle 6 power, so that's gonna be just like that. Man, I mean, I think I can, now that I don't need these anymore, I can use my Nevlas ability to power that up. I can do it 6 more. Oh, that'd be interesting. I can spend 3 credit and 5 ore to put another research lab on the board, which is going to allow me to take a tech, and that gives me one knowledge per. So I'm just basically trying to run up tech things, and I'm going to move up here. I'm going to get a Gaia former, which is pointless at this point, but I move up that tech track. I'm going to get 1 knowledge per type of planet that I have colonized. So I've colonized brown, gray, white, red, and Gaia. So I get 5 more knowledge, which gives me up to 10. I can cycle this in here and get 2 more. So all my power is now in there, which is fine. And then I'm just going to try to do a point grab and run up one of these knowledge tracks. So I can do, yeah, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, move up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, move up there. Nothing to cycle. I get a QIC, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, move up there. Since I moved up 3 times, it's 2 points each because of the round scoring. I get 6 points from that, so that gets me to 72. I have a total of 14 credit and 4 ore left. I'm going to turn these 3 QIC into credits. So that's going to give me 7 points at the end of the game for having leftover ore and credits. And then it's just going to come to end game scoring, which is going to be bananas, I think. All right, so number of buildings I have in federations is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which isn't a lot. So that's the order there. Terrans has probably, I think, 11 or 12 buildings. I do have 9 satellites on the board, and Terrans only has 8. Cool, so I do win that category. So I'm gonna pass. So this can finally go away. We are now going to do endgame scoring. I'm going to get, this is really helpful, so we'll do it in order that they have here. So we're going to get, Terrans is going to get 18 points because they have the most buildings in a federation. So they're going to go from 87 plus 18 is 105. Then I have 6 points, so I go from 72 to 78. Then they're going to get 9 points because they're tied with the dummy player. So 6 plus 12 is 18, and half they get 9. So 105 plus 9 is 114. I get 18 points, so 78 plus 18 is 96. Now we're going to do so this is all scored. Now we're going to do on this, so the tracks, you get 4 points for each level 3, level 4, and level 5 that you have touched. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to get 40 points, right? Because I have gone up the track 40 different times. So you've seen the power of Nevlas in the endgame scoring. So 96 plus 40 is 136. He also was going up a lot of tracks, but he kept getting stuck there. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's only get 24 points. So 104 plus 24 is going to, I'm sorry, 114 plus 24 is going to give him 138. But then I have, again, 21 unused resources. So I get 7 points. So it's 143. Wow. I am sure that was not the best way to win that game, but it was very satisfying. So seeing that come together at the end, yeah. I'm kind of still trying to make sense of what just happened. It just, I felt like I was in a good place the whole time. I did not think it was going to be that close. I kind of thought I'd pull away a little bit more. But 140 plus is about right for my skill level in this game. And I mean, if I get like 125, if I get less than 125, I feel like I really probably did something wrong. But it was a strange board. The Transdim planets were all over here, so I was kind of stuck trying to figure out my own way. Just had the perfect amount of distance between my structures, and really I think that the decision that really kind of saved the day for me was when I came to this Gaia planet over here. I was originally just going to terraform one of my own home planets, but I felt like I saw the opportunity to get those points that specific round, and it felt like it was going to set me up better for satellites even too, and then just was really able to use this power cycle to my advantage. So had 4 tech tiles. You know, it was unusual to be not be able to use all those QICs. I mean, some of these, like being able to redo a Federation tile and get the double benefit, and even that would have been 8 points. Instead the money grab I went for was on the navigation track, but and just having 21 left in resources. I mean, 22, because I could have converted this QIC into an ore as well before I passed. It was that's a lot of resources to set on, but again, those points really add up, and does that end game scoring, that end round scoring, that the last round scoring was just moving up knowledge tracks. So I think I moved up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 knowledge tracks that round. I mean, maybe 8, but that's 16, 18 points right there. So really figuring out how the board's laid out and what your opponent's doing, knowing Terrans was only going to be going for those Transdim planets, and so he kind of stayed out of my way, but he still won on the Federation. So I mean, I've definitely seen games against Terrans, especially where he wins, like it will be Federation tiles and Gaia planets, and you just know you're going to get crushed on both of those. Fortunately, I was able to take the lead in the satellites just with the way my 8 structures were set out. But that's a really unusual Federation to see that much distance between those planets there. But really happy to get this on the channel. Hope people enjoyed it. Anyone who's like a really experienced Gaia player would love to get some feedback on this game. And again, I put my videos out just to really help people see what other games are out there, and to get started. And if you, again, right now are looking for solo games for obvious reasons with what's going on in the world right now, and you have Gaia Project and haven't played it, maybe this video can be a little bit of a help to you to kind of see how the systems play out, see how this deck plays out, and hopefully the way I explain things will be a good part of that for you. So look, I will be back next week, Sunday, 9 o'clock, somewhere new, probably Maze Night or Spirit Island, or who knows. But it will be somewhere, not in a galaxy far, far away, but we will have just as much fun and games, hopefully. So happy to pull out this victory. I will be back with Gaia sometime in the future. It'll be a couple months at least, though. But happy to really bring this into the fold and get this into the rotation. Any questions, comments, epiphanies, please put them in the comment section below. But other than that, till next time, thanks for joining me, and happy gaming.